followed by the pledge of allegiance. All rise. Icy.
Everybody, thank you, Lord, for bringing us here today at the city meeting. Pray that we can move the city forward in the right direction, have unity, and work together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Adams,
Present.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Present.
Commissioner Edwards,
Present.
Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom,
Present.
Commissioner Singleton,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Seats, Mayor Mohammed.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Is there a motion for the approval of minutes, regular minutes, August 21, 2023? Motion is made by Commissioner Adams. Is there support? Support. Supported by Commissioner Singleton. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Madam Clerk, just for the technicality, do we press the button or how does that work?
You can be heard.
Righty. This brings us to approval of accounts payable listings. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion to approve.
Motion is made by Commissioner
Support.
Isom, supported by Commissioner Adams. Is there discussion?
The only discussion I have is, do we have any interviews set up for finance director? Can we get an update as to where we are with that?
The Personnel Finance Chair will address that in either committee or in his conference. Call for the question.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
No,
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
This brings us to the update by Representative Joey Andrews. We have Representative present. We'll move to the citizens' comments, public participation. You have a 3-minute maximum per speaker. You can register with the city clerk.
Emma Kennard.
Good evening, everyone.
good evening.
You know, I went in my drawer this morning as I got dressed, and I see this T-shirt every once in a while, and I don't want to put it on a lot of time because it keeps my heart heavy. But I chose to wear it because this is a part of the Water Council T-shirt. If anyone wants to see what it looks like from the beginning here, I was one that had brought bottles of water to show that there was a problem with our water. And I brought it here to make sure that it was announced and the community would hear of this rather than me later on hearing, I don't remember you ever giving it to me. So this brings my heart heavy because there's many babies that is not here because of that lead in the water. The mothers didn't know that there was lead that was damaging those babies. And those babies could have died from this lead with their formulas being fixed at this time when I announced it. And there's nothing that was done for years until the water, one of the water places called me and discussed this. What I'm saying is that when you get these seats, we are supposed to be concerned about our community safety. The streets, it's got big holes. I almost knocked a hole in my vehicle. The water safety issue hasn't been cleared up to let us know whether the water's safe to wash our vegetables or whatever. And so I'm concerned about our community and the voices that ask for them to vote for you, they're not getting those answers. And once in a while, they talk to me. So it's been alarmed and talked about even getting a finance director here. Nobody ever has an answer. They start looking at one another. You should have answers. And I'm sure you do. But you don't want to come forward and let people know what is going on. So these are answers. And you got these places in this position that you can give people answers. That's what is happening. So now, what are you going to tell the people when you want to receive your seats again? That we've taken care of everything, the water's safe to drink, the streets has been fixed, but millions of dollars has gone out. Millions of dollars is there at the public works, but the streets are trashed. Yeah, people throw them out. They throw them out in other cities too, but they have a regular cycle of going and cleaning those streets. So you sit millions of dollars worth of equipment there, and the streets look like there's been a war zone. So think about it. As you represent your city, what are you going to tell the people that you asked for their vote? Bumping fists ain't going to get it this time. And remember, just like I told you about that water issue, remember, you're going to have to deal with this here financial manager, because I'm sure that a lot of things is not in place by not having one. Thank you.
Deidre Fields.
Hello. So I am here tonight following up from the previous meeting where Edwards had brought up the conditions of Howard Tower. And during that meeting, it seemed that everybody, or most everybody, had feedback in regards to some compassion. And then it was, I believe it was Sharon Henderson and Jerry Edwards that was going to actually do that special meeting. I'm not understanding whether it happened or not, and how, or what's the next steps in regards to holding them accountable, right? So I know we had news things to happen, but I'm trying to see what is actually the real next steps. So, and then how can community members help? I know that, like, for example, Santana Warren was trying to offer like some proxy, but I'm just, I had her redirect that question to Little rather than going in there doing self-repairs to see if that's even allowed, right? And to not interfere with something they will probably be doing. So just asking what happened after that, because it was like real passionate. Everybody was, I know you won't hear me, but a lot of people was waiting for the meeting in regards to the accountability. Mayor Pro Tem Seats have brought up having the board and the staff actually come in so it wouldn't be that clash, and to just do something. And as I had researched more, I know one of the articles was like 2019, and it was, we're going to hold them accountable. We're going to figure out something in regards to putting some in rooms and hotels and things of that nature. I looked over January 3rd, I believe, where the one older lady came in explaining the flood throughout the holiday, how nobody came until that following Tuesday. Then Sheila Hill came that Wednesday. And, finding that water source is the biggest thing. So I'm pretty sure most of you guys, if you haven't all saw the live from when I went in there, and how there was on the second floor, I think like 3 patches where it's sitting water. Residents were stating that they put mothballs and there are different things in there to kind of do the order, to help with the odor. And then the floor itself, you could tell it had been replaced, but it's still water coming from somewhere. So it's already bucking. It's a dog in there. I can't remember what floor that was on. They're not allowed. The rescue shelter places are locked. And from my understanding, it's because people might be squatting in there, but so someone may have an emergency as well. So what's the plan for that? The trash chutes are all mounted or closed permanently. So I thought we had some kind of accountability actions in place, and I'm lost as to what happened after the meeting.
No more comments.
Excuse me, I didn't know what to sign.
You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon. How are all of you? And to all the participants here at the chamber as well. We're here to share some wonderful news for some of you who know and some of you who do not know. We are Benton Harbor Team Solutions. I'm Princella Tobias, and with me is Nicholas Gunn. And I'm going to share with you one of the most dynamic events that is happening here in the city of Benton Harbor, hosted by the city of Benton Harbor, as well as your partner, Great Lakes Community Action Partnership. Hopefully you have received from me a text message and emails as well talking about the 2023 Leadership Training Workshop. This workshop will be happening here in the city of Benton Harbor in Great Lakes, which has been doing this for over 80 years. We'll be the ones we will be the ones training people about a vast amount of activities that would help us become leaders. It's something very ironic. We were listening today to Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he was talking about leaders. He says, leaders are not just your elected officials. Leaders are not just your pastors. They're the ones in the pews. They're your residents, your mothers. In a business, it just starts with your janitor. And from that point, we start building up. And that is what the city of Benton Harbor is trying to do in partnership with Great Lakes, is to build up the residents and others in this community by hosting the leadership training workshop here in Benton Harbor. I have given Tiffany some information. Hopefully you have also received copies of it. I think about what we just experienced in the 4th Ward, Commissioner Ethel Clark Griffin with her resource fair. How we can come together to create leaderships, but also for our community, bringing them together. This event would be totally free of charge. It would be held starting Wednesday, September the 13th, and then it would go to September the 27th, the second session. The third session would be October the 10th, and the final session would be October the 24th, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Michigan Works, 499 Main Street. It would be totally, like I said, free of charge, and lunch would be provided. And one of the subjects, and there are many that it will target on, I don't know if you have that, Nick, and you can read it off, but they're going to be also speaking about water resources, and what water means to so many, and I should say to all of us. That's something that they have experience on, and talking about just tools that we can use when it comes to water. It's something about in the Benton Spirit, Deb Martin, who is with Great Lakes CAP. She said it's ironic how this city could actually have the best water in this community. And we will go out and we will buy bottled water at stores for $2 to $4, and we never question where it comes from. The city of Benton Harbor's water, if you would just give me a couple more minutes, has been mandated, has been reviewed, has been approved, and it will continue doing that. That's why I make the statement that I have made about having the best water. But so many other communities like Stevensville, like Niles and Auckland and others that have water challenges. This city has done it in record time and under budget, and that is remarkable throughout the United States of America. So bringing the leadership training here with a focus on water is very important. And I'm just hoping that each and every one of you will reach out to everyone in this body of government that has anything to do with the water system, from customer service to analysts, that they will be at this training, but also that you would invite your family and friends and others to come to the city of Benton Harbor for its 2023 leadership workshop.
Yeah, for the leadership workshop, there's many different frameworks, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
State your name, please.
Nicholas Gunn, Benton Harbor. So diversity, equity, inclusion, there'll be a ton more different frameworks, active listening, how can you be an active listener, also how to manage budgets and different things as well, how to be on a board and that as well, and how to register for the conference. You can visit the Benton Spirit's Facebook page. Also on page 9 of Benton Spirit, there's a QR code to registration link. And I'll also just quickly mention the Andrews University will be on the 14th at different community across Berrien County. We'll be doing our Andrews University Change Day, And one of the, two of the locations is in Benton Harbor. One will be at the Morton Park. We're doing a cleanup on the 14th, and Harbor of Hope. And I know there's like a ton more across Barron County. It's our day of change and how we make an impact in spreading God across the community. So hope to see you guys there on the 14th. And we also have our I Love Benton Harbor Parks. You can scan this survey and let us know what you'd like to see in the parks. So thank you guys.
Thank you. We do have our State Representative Joy Andrews present. You do have the floor, sir.
Sorry for running a few minutes late. Thank you for having me. Just wanted to make sure I took a minute as we're starting back up the legislative session this fall to stop by. Spent the last 2 months working on in-district projects, knocking doors and taking some feedback on some legislation we're working on. Was happy to see Director Nick Little as well as our Downtown Development Authority represented at some of those meetings, getting some feedback from the city of Benton Harbor too on the short-term rental legislation that we're working on. So thank you all for participating in that too. We're really excited about the direction that package is going in. Also saw the Mayor Pro Tem up in Lansing last week at the governor's speech announcing sort of what's next for the state this fall. If you didn't get a chance to tune in, governor's pushing on climate legislation, family leave, sick leave as big policies, reproductive health, and some democracy and transparency legislation. So that's I think a lot of which you can expect for the next couple of months from us up in Lansing. And of course, let us know if there's anything we can do to help down here while we're up there. Lots going on all over the place. We've been keeping an eye on what's been going on over at Benton Towers and some of the other situations there. So keep our office informed as much as you can on any of that stuff so that we can do what we can on our end as well to make sure that we're addressing a serious problem.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. This brings us to our consent calendar. Is there a motion for the approval of the consent calendar, or are there any items that should be set? Make a motion. Motion is made by Commissioner Edwards. It is supported by Commissioner Adams. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
And Commissioner Singleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry,
Yes.
Commissioner Isom,
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Which brings us to our staff comments. I'd like to recognize the Assistant City Manager and Community and Economic Development Director, Director Alex Little.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the commission and the general public. Would just like to make mention of the fact that it appears that COVID is starting to return. And we do still have available for the general public of the city of Benton Harbor, some of the masks and so forth that will be available. As of next week, we'll have those back at the counters where people wish to be able to come in and get some.
Thank you. Chair recognizes our City Assessor, Assessor Story.
Thank you. Good evening. All is quiet in my department.
Chair recognizes our Public Safety Director, Director McGinnis.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Good seeing you all. Just kind of a reminder, public safety is a lot of stuff we're pushing out. We have legislative tomorrow with some things on there. So keep you posted on that. And also next week will be public safety. One of the agenda items on public safety is Harbor Towers. An update, I do know that, some of the pastors approached me about what they can do to help. So we're talking about that. And Jerry Nassau, anybody knows that love me. You guys have a great night, and thanks this is coming. I just see Representative Friedel.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the city clerk.
Thank
Clerk
you.
Moore.
Just a reminder that the November election is quickly approaching. November 7th, you'll start seeing your absentee ballots towards the end of the month when that opens on September 28th. As far as the early voting, I will keep you guys updated when I learn more from the county on moving that agreement forward.
Thank you. Chair recognizes the city manager, Manager Mitchell.
Good evening, everyone. Commissioners. Want to just answer a question that was asked about Harbor Towers. You might not have heard about it, but we are working on it. There are things, we had a meeting today with HUD and with the commission and with the staff. So we're not just sitting and waiting, we're working on it also. And we had been already, as a matter of fact. I want to say thank you to all those who participated in giving the staff a staff appreciation celebration on Friday. It was a nice thing to do. It was a thing that needed to be done, and the staff enjoyed it. And I hope everyone that came out enjoyed it. And next time, more of it. Next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes 4th Ward Commissioner, Commissioner Clark Griffin.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, we, as Ms. Priscilla Tobias mentioned, we did the 4th Ward, the 2nd annual 4th Ward Resource Fair, and it was great. We had a good turnout. You know, we had food, resources for things as far as medical, asthma, dental, you name it, jobs, lead, water filter, bike repairs. We had activities for the kids. And I want to thank the director, McGinnis, for allowing Fire Marshal, Brian, the fire truck to come, gave out smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detector, along with hats and other things for the kids. Art did activities for the kids. Just had a lot going on. I even walked the block with my bullhorn, getting the residents out there and talking to them. So just had a good time. Clean up. 4th Ward, if you're looking, it's still looking good. We clean up so many streets. So I want to thank Mr. Shaquille Turner for always spearheading cleanups, and my son Miguel Clark for always being there and donating too. Not just being there, but donating all the time. I want to thank my colleagues that did come out and support, Commissioner Ison, Commissioner Adams, and Commissioner Henry. I want to thank them for coming, and being a part and showing support, for the cleanup, resource fair, prayer walk, and walking the block. I walked the block as well. It was just a good thing. I want to thank the city manager for allowing Public Works to be a part of, they help in the cleanup. This is the 3rd cleanup since last year that I've done in my ward. So, the city is looking good. So I just want to thank everybody, sponsors, volunteers, everybody that was involved. And this weekend, I have been asked to speak and attend this event. It's going to be a lot of big hitters where we can have great conversation about things in the city and 4th Ward and, just the city as a whole. And one of the guests that's been asked to be there is Hill Harper, the actor, who's running for Congress. So this is going to be a great event, and I'm excited about it. So everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Chair recognizes 3rd Ward Commissioner Henry.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out and watching your government in action. And we still have quite a few boards that we need citizen reps on. So get involved with government, stay involved. Thank you.
Chair recognizes 2nd Ward Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank you all for coming out once again. Quickly as possible, there's 2 things I've been labeled in the last year and a half. one has been labeled as a troublemaker, controversial, hard to work with. And my answer to that is, no, I'm not. Just don't negotiate with people's life. The second one I've been labeled is troublemaker because I have a grudge. And I promised I would be professional tonight, so here's professionalism in its highest. Under policy and law, any owner of so said address or building has the right to evict a person if any part of that policy or law is broken. So the grudge is that I'm going at the Harbor Towers is because I had a late payment or past pay, whatever. So that's why they evicted me. I agree with that law, that policy, and that statement 1000%. Now that we got me out of there, let's deal with the focus of it. Name me one resident who climbed up on top of Harbor Towers and pulled water down the elevator shaft. Name one. And that's why you at that staff meeting with Housing Commission and all those people, make sure that they get this message. Why you can't have not one resident in those meetings? Just one. Just one. It don't even have to be me, because it's not about me. Two, how do you go visit or go deal with another entity who has told you that you have somebody in your entity we don't even want on their property? How do you evict the government from having a group of people without a voice? Ask the Housing Commission, when was the last time somebody fought for those people? Don't ask them, ask those people. We don't want to ask them. We don't want to include them in no meetings. We don't want to include them in no conversation. We don't want to include them in no dealings, no negotiations. We don't want to do none of that. So do I have a grudge? No. But professionally, Ben Harbor City local government and its entirety of commissioners and mayor and staff has, by law and policy, to make sure that every resident in the city of Benton Harbor is duly noted, taken care of, under all authority and power by its charter. I don't care who owns that building, it is our responsibility to take care of those residents, and we don't care, and it shouldn't care what religion, what faith, why they got kicked out, why they homeless. We should worry about, can they lay down without breathing mold? If both elevators stop right now, is anybody over there to help them down from the 6th floor? The last person been in that building to ask them, raise your hand. The last person to deal with anybody over there across that street, raise your hand. We gave them a picnic, a cookout. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you, Richard. Gave them hot dogs right across the street. Some of them never been over there because they're scared of us. They feel unsafe leaving their property. I'm gonna say this and I'm done. Do I have a grudge? Are you crazy? I'm too old to have a grudge. I'm 69. I don't have a grudge for. Here's one thing you gotta pay attention to. It's gonna hurt. Blacks, African Americans, whatever you wanna call us. This is why we don't cross Main Street. Because when we cross Main Street, we're unsafe. Because we can be looked at as undesirables. Grab your purse, grab your daughter, grab your change, watch the door, watch the bar, watch this. White people, Caucasians, whatever you want to label them, they're not going to come on this side. You know why? They get something taken, purse, life, car, things of that nature. But look at it. This side,
Commissioner Edwards.
we just taking freedom right across that street. I understand, thank you, Mayor, but I figured we let them go on with water. Just like, I don't have a grudge.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, and thank the residents for coming out, taking time out of your busy schedule to see how your government is working and functioning for you or not, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But let me reassure you that I am one that works my butt off in half for the past 23 years, even though I've only been elected leader since 2011. When I first came on board, though, I couldn't get how government was supposed to work. So I know that it's a structure living in a land of laws, that there's some laws and policies and procedures that you must follow. So I got busy and started spending my own money out of my own pocket to have things for you, to gain the information that I needed to be able to make an informed decision. Not just because I think that things should go the way that I think that they should go, and you all have been elected and you're supposed to move and you're supposed to move right now. That's not the way it works. I learned real fast, but what I did find out was a lot of information, and I haven't stopped searching yet. For the past 23 years, I'm just getting rid of 23-year-old information that I have gathered. But let me tell you one thing that I learned in the past 10 years was that I had the right, if whoever was in that office up there in the state of Michigan, that I could get on a committee, which is where more important decisions are made that affect our local government, not just these that we elect locally. There's some very important decisions that are made about our community that some folks that sit down here and point fingers at others and want to hold somebody accountable need to get a mirror and get on the internet and see what's open up at the state capitol, because there are seats that need to be filled, and they are some very important seats. What I learned about 15 years ago before I became a commissioner was that how was all these arms to the city working? Housing commission. I thought these seats had power of all that stuff. I learned very quickly that they don't. But that every meeting and committee that's had are open to the public. Now, if you choose not to go, that's on you. That's your business. You run your own schedule. Because I've been to some of them. I can't be everywhere all the time, but if each one of us do a little bit of something, somebody like me probably wouldn't be so worn down. But I works my ass off for my community. I sure do. Because I am in the number of the least of us. That includes Mary Alice too. And I think I've done a good job here representing my people. But I don't just represent Black. The majority of the people in Ben Harbor just happen to be. And I care about me and mine and where we've come from and our ancestors that have died for us. We deserve better. We deserve better than to live like this. As a little girl living right around the corner from Howard Towers, I watched that building go up. I watched the big cranes put the big pieces of steel that holds it together in the ground. And it was a predominantly white community. And it was full of white people. And the community was much beautifuler, but I was born in 59. During the 60s, there was riots. And it started with the Wyatt's riot in Detroit, May I? And from there on, there became riots throughout the 60s, where people, predominantly white people, moved out of the Black communities where Blacks were moving into. And they called it white flight. And it was their right. But the communities began to fall apart because there was no taxpayers. Because you see, Black people were redlined out of the American dream. That we fight so hard for now, but we don't need to be fighting against each other. Like one no better than the other. Cause we all came over on different ships, but we in the same damn boat. And with that, I'm gonna just say, get involved. I'm not gonna say we got boards that need to be filled, because another thing that I learned about government is it federally, state, and locally is that a majority rules. There's 9 of us, 5 votes will outvote anybody else that may feel like they right or wrong or whatever. And the same thing can happen on a committee. Stop getting on committees if you ain't there for the right reason. That's what's wrong with Harvard Tower. We've been putting folks on committees that ain't been doing their job, because they're supposed to do their job and bring it back to us, the ones with the power.
Commissioner, could you please finish your thought?
I think that was about it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Isom.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. For all the comments, thank you for your comments. We all heard. Commissioner Griffin, yep, that was a nice, great giveaway, and ate too many hot dogs, but it's good. They started to clean up early on me this time, so I missed that. But I really wish I could have participated in that. Update from Representative Andrews. Thank you for keeping us informed of what's going on in the state capitol, what we can look forward to fighting for the city. The city appreciation dinner, that was great. That was a good time. It's good to feel like people care about you, you know, especially at your job, that you feel appreciated, you know. And I can tell some of the employees, public works, customer service, there, you know, city manager, Little, you know, so it was a good dinner and a few cocktails going, and it was good to feel appreciated, you know, let the employees, the staff know that the city have your back and that you're doing a good job. A pat on the back, you know. We thank Kinsella for this leadership program. I don't know if she's part of it or brought it to the city. Because I've been looking at this thing for like a couple of years now. It's kind of expensive to get on there. I know they have scholarship programs, and this is free. That's the best part about this, is free, and you can learn, you know. So I think I'm gonna participate in this because I want to get better. I want to help be more for my community and do things for the betterment of other people, you know, for us, my grandkids, my wife, our neighborhoods, our community. What else we have here? We have leadership. And it's like Ms. Kennard said too, though, I haven't seen the street sweep. I know I work all day. Now I work 4 in the morning, so I can make it Ben Harbor back 5 o'clock. So I don't know, but I haven't seen it. I know it's a brand new deal. Pay money for opera funds, and you know, you at least want to see it go down the street. You know, I think the last time I seen it had to be a month or 2 ago. So you need to see stuff in action, the chipper, the asphalt. You know, that's what we're here for. We have resolutions come before us to vote on things to move forward, to help the city look better. And we need those machines running. You know, a day for chipping, a day for asphalt, a maintenance schedule. Check it off. There's one more last thing. Detroit Lions. That's all I'm gonna say. This our year. I knew that'd get y'all laughing. I knew it. This our year. Starting Thursday, we gonna beat the Super Bowl champs. Thank you, Fort Harbor. God bless you. And everybody be safe out there. Thursday is going down. Thank you, Honorable Mayor.
Thank you. Let the record reflect. Commissioner Isom is a Lions fan. Chair recognizes Commissioner Singleton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Thank the citizens and everybody else for coming out. State rep, thank you for your update. Mr. Glass, Mr. Nick, hard working young man. He's at all the events. A couple of events I put on, he was there, taking pictures and talking to folks. Some busy guys. Good to see young folk out, doing things and reporting on what's going on in our community. I think all the nonprofit organizations that's out working too, this, doing things, every time you look around, you see something going on, that lets you know that people care about this community. A lot of times, I guess, when you in these seats, you either get praised sometime and you get talked about, probably more times, but that comes along with the territory, but we can agree to disagree on some things, we shouldn't have to, if we do disagree, we shouldn't have to, resort to the name callings and stuff, but hey, I get it, that's the way it is, but my energy is to keep on pushing. I missed the appreciation thing because I had to do a little appreciation at home with my wife. Last few weekends I've been, busy doing some other things. The 1 week dealing with the track thing that we did, and grandkids participated in it. Then the week after that, took on a project with one of the local pastors that had gave up, and he ran out of his own pocket, was running a warming center and kind of like a homeless shelter for people that couldn't get back into the Salvation Army. But for some reason, he got the urge and he's trying to get his building back up ahead of wintertime because we do have a homeless problem. That's all over this nation, So last Saturday I was out with him and having lunch, and we fed some people in the neighborhood and try to get them involved in what's going on. That's up on Fair Avenue, and he's doing a lot of that out of his pocket. So I'm going to help him do some fundraisers to try to get ahead of the game before it get real cold. That at least a few folks will have a warm place and something to eat after everything else closes up in our local shelters. So, public safety committees is next Wednesday. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of stuff going to the legislative that came through the public safety. So on the move, Harbor Towers, definitely passionate, about that. I think the commissioner asked was there anybody who raised their hand who been over there. He didn't see me raise my hand. I did raise it. I have a brother-in-law that lives in that building that's been there for some time. We talk, and definitely that's something close. And I know we're gonna work this thing out because people shouldn't have to live like that. It was a meeting today. I didn't get a chance to attend that, so I'll be digging into that to find out what actually went on and what type of headway is being made. So people are working. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Singleton. Just like to thank everyone for coming out to the meeting tonight. Government is a science. Politics is an art. So it's two separate things. And the thing about government, we have to remedy, manage, and resolve problems. If you look at the United States government, you look at the country, there's a multitude of problems. But government has to continue to move the country forward despite the issues and the problems and the challenges and the obstacles that are confronted every day in
the United States. And the same is to be said in the state of Michigan, where there's 83 counties. And government has to stay focused, knowing that every problem will not be solved overnight. Some problems, it will take time to change. Just like when we look in the mirror at ourselves, we know that we can make some changes personally, but do the changes occur overnight? In most cases, they do not. It takes work, it takes effort, it takes commitment from the individual to change. So when you try and change certain things that are or have been in place for years, it takes time. The city of Benton Harbor in 1989 was said to be the worst city in the United States. 30 years later, the city of Benton Harbor is not in the same space nor place that it was then or where it was at that time. We are moving things forward. I am happy that we applied for $2.5 million to restore the armory, which is basically 2010 left desolate when the emergency management took over. The budget was gutted and the building has been left for dead. But we've been able to work with the federal government to apply for some funds to try and restore the building, staff the building, and provide programs for the youth. Project T is moving forward, a 79-unit development on the old Mercy property. Once again, our hospital, we no longer have it. So government has to work with developers, people who have ideas to make it or repurpose that property. But that project is going forward. There will be an announcement for the groundbreaking for the corner of Wall Street, which hopefully will be our first grocery store in the 4.4 square miles since Eagles. And a 55-unit development, or possibly we can move some of the residents out of Harbor Towers and put them into a new facility. I do have a meeting with the Black Mayors of Michigan, September 19th, with the Romney Building, with the executive staff of the governor. So we'll be discussing a multitude of issues, but we'll bring all that back. We were also invited to the Congressional Black Caucus event coming up in September, and we won't be able to make that. But I will say that, at one time, Benton Harbor, we were in purgatory. Nobody was inviting us to anything. But now the city of Benton Harbor is not only at the table, but we're in a position where now we're set the table. And we're not coming through the back door. Benton Harbor is coming through the front and center, not just in Lansing, but in Washington, D.C. And we are also a power player in Barron County. It's not because of any one individual. It's because of the people, those that you see working on your behalf. It's not perfect. Looking for perfection, you better go look in your Bible for Jesus. Don't look up here. But when you look up here, find a way to work with those that are here. We can make Benton Harbor better. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion is made by Commissioner Adams, supported by Commissioner Clark Griffin. Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Adams,
Yes.
Commissioner Clark Griffin,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Henry, Commissioner Isom.
Yes.
Commissioner Singleton.
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Monday to Friday. So, November
We got Howard. Oh.